Hello, everyone, and welcome to Franz's Real Estate Facts, episode 12. We've been talking a lot in the past episodes about, what you have to do to plan your move and what you have to do to be able to sell your house and what you have to do to make sure that a buyer buys your house. But one of the things that we really haven't talked about is what you have to do after your house is actually sold and you have to get out of there. So, I have with me today Lindsay Curtis, who is the CEO of A Smart Move. And I've known Lindsay for a little while. She's really fun. She also has an awesome British accent because she is from Britain. And so it is so fun to listen to her talk. And she talks about the all important topic of how do you get all of your stuff from house A to house B. So, Lindsay today will talk to us about 5 packing tips when you are moving. And also, just as like an aside, you can see like the little green things in her background. Lindsay has a company that gives people reusable moving boxes. So they are incredibly sustainable and useful, and it is a lot easier than buying boxes, taping them up, and then afterwards figuring out what to do with them. She just brings the boxes, you fill them up, and then when you're done with them, she takes them away. It's magic. So thank you so much for being with us, Lindsay. So
Thank you for having me.
you're welcome. So when people are moving, what are some packing tips that you can actually give them?
Well, there's lots of packing tips, but we're going to try and keep it down to 5 today.
Yes.
Um, the most important thing is the preparation. So having the supplies ready. Of course, I'm going to advocate for our eco-friendly, clean and sanitized moving boxes. Your clients can rent them. We turn up with the boxes, and as you said, they pack, they move, and then we pick them up afterwards. So you're going to need boxes. So just a shameless plug for the moment, the difference between our boxes and a cardboard box is our boxes take 1.5 to 2 times more than a cardboard box, and they come self-assembled. So
Right.
you don't have to tape anything up. You don't have to figure out what goes where. And we actually did a survey, and it works out that you save about 1.5 minutes per box by using our boxes than a cardboard box. Well, if you've got 50 cardboard boxes or 100 cardboard boxes, that's a lot of minutes saved just on the assembling sides, and then you have to do the reverse again afterwards. So that's just one advantage over of our boxes. Another advantage is that we turn up with them. You don't have to go to any big box store. You don't have to get somebody's used cardboard boxes off the back of Craigslist or whatever. Anyway, and the price of the boxes is comparable to buying new boxes. So just putting that aside. So you've got to get your materials ready, whether you choose to use our boxes or whether you choose to use secondhand cardboard boxes that may be full of bugs. So it's up to the client, it's up to you. But okay, you've got to get your supplies ready, because what you don't want is in the middle of your packing, all of a sudden you need more bubble wrap, you need more paper, you need more cardboard boxes, you're scrambling round. Nobody likes packing ever. Okay, so try and make this as seamless and as less painful for you. Okay, so first of all, packing tip number 1, get your supplies, whether they be my boxes or cardboard boxes, but get your supplies in order. Make sure you have enough boxes, paper, bubble wrap, pens to write on your boxes, tape, all the necessary things that you need, have it ready before the get-go. So that's packing tip number 1. Then
Excellent.
packing tip number 2 is have a packing strategy. How are
Hmm.
you going to pack? Where are you going to start? Do you want to set yourself up a space? Just think about where you're at. So it depends on the lead time that you've got between your packing and your moving. But let's say it's not overnight and you've got a little bit of time. get a packing strategy. What we do when we go in and pack for any client is we actually start with the garage, and we clear the garage. We make a space. Most people tend to have overflow in their garage, not necessarily things that they're using daily. And so once we cleared the garage, when I say clear the garage, we either pack, we dispose of items, whatever the client needs, but we make that space and we start loading the garage with all the boxes, so that when the movers come in, all your stuff's in one place. So you're saving time, because if you've put everything in one place or in collected places around the house, the movers aren't running around the house trying to find every box and everything that they need to take. So by doing a little bit of preparation beforehand, you're saving yourself lots of time, effort, and energy. So whatever your packing strategy is, just make sure you have one. Okay. So you don't feel like you're surrounded by boxes all the time and that your house is in a big mess and so on and so on. So just get a packing strategy in place. That was point number 2. Point number 3. Yes. As you're packing, don't pack stuff that you're like, oh, I haven't used this in 6 months. I haven't used this in a year. Give it an opportunity for you to clear your space, so you're moving into your new home with a clear mind and a clear space and room to let new things come in as well. So that doesn't mean to say throw everything out, but if you know you haven't used something for a long time, you know, it hasn't been unpacked since the time you moved into your place, you're not going to need it. You know, it's time to donate it to somebody that could potentially use that item. Be careful for anything that you're donating. If it's electrical, if it's not working or hazardous, do not donate, right? It's very, very important. We've all seen that episode of This Is Us when they donated the crock pot and the whole house went on fire. You do not want to be that person. So donate with good intent. Just because it's of no value to you, it may be value of somebody else, but if you haven't used it, don't take it. So just take an opportunity to declutter your house and let new things come into your house, into your new place. So just be mindful of what you're packing. There is an element, you are allowed to take some stuff with you that you're not quite sure if you want it or not want it. You're not quite sure if it's going to fit in the space or not. There is an element, a percentage element of those sorts of items, you know, that there's stuff that you're definitely taking, there's stuff that you're definitely not taking, and then there's that middle ground. Okay. But you know, every additional box that you move is going to cost you money. Because it costs your money to pack it, it costs the movers money to move it, it costs your money and time to unpack it. So just be mindful of that. On a side note, we worked out that each box has an approximate value of about $50 of items, worth of items inside. It's a broad field, obviously, but if you think, what's inside this box, is it worth the money? Is it worth me moving it? So that just keeps something in the back of your mind. You must label your boxes. Okay, very important. On our boxes, our boxes come with a label on the front, and we supply a easy marker, a dry erase marker pen. So you can write on, you know, kitchen, pots and pans, master bedroom, child's bedroom 1, clothes, whatever it is, you get to write on the actual box. If you've chosen cardboard box and you need to write on the box, just label them up. Write on the box what's inside, because you're gonna, for sure as eggs is eggs, you are going to pack something that you need and you're not going to be able to find it. So if you haven't labeled your box, so label your boxes. It also helps the movers to put the boxes in the right rooms before they leave. saving you effort and energy and saving your back. So make sure your boxes are labeled. Very important. Also, do not overpack your boxes, because if you overpack the boxes, you cannot move them and you're going to break your back. I don't care how old you are. So don't overstuff your boxes. Your boxes should be the shape in which you made them, not bulging out the side, not bulging up the top. Yes, we've all had the squash suitcase and you can squash your box a little bit, you know, but do not stuff your boxes, because your items could get broken. We don't want that. And it becomes more difficult for the movers on the back of the moving truck, because now it's all odd shapes and so on and so on. The advantage with our boxes is that the shape stays. You can't overstuff them. They uniformly pack on the back of the moving truck, so you save money and time there as well. And there's no thought process about, do I need medium, do I need small, do I need large? They come one size, and you pack till it fits, you close the lid and you move on. So it takes a lot of that thinking away from you. So and then, because of the easy carry handles, if you've decided to go, as I had spoken before about the packing strategy, if you decided to stage everything, let's say in the garage, you can just easily move the boxes into the garage. They're all labeled at this point. You know where everything is. It looks beautiful, and it's just a clean move for you. And the important thing about a clean move is the headspace that it gives you. When we've all done it, we've all purged our houses, we've all done a spring clean, we've all, you know, gone through our wardrobes, take out clothes at various times, and you feel good about it, right? You feel good, you feel elevated. And if your move is a clean move too, then that gives you a different mindset. It gives you that clarity and reduces your stress level, because we all know moving is one of the most stressful things to do. So
Yes.
Those are my top tips for helping you move.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. First of all, you are from England, and I think you made a, move from England to the US, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So, did you use some of those tips when you made that move yourself, or?
Well, no, I didn't, because, well, yes and no. Because first of all, that was 13 years ago, and I wasn't in the moving industry 13 years ago. But when we moved, I moved with my husband and my 3 children, who were obviously 13 years younger, much younger children.
Mm-hmm.
And the exchange rate at the time was near on $2 for £1. So everything was very cheap for us. We knew when we came to here it was going to be cheap. So we made the decision that the style in London is going to be very different from the style in San Diego. And any toys that my kids have, I could just walk into Walmart and buy them here, because they probably originated from here anyway. So we just packed with our wedding china and wedding crystal, our photographs and our videos, that stuff that you just can't replace, and basically the clothes on our back. And so we had a very small move. We had about 50 boxes that came transatlantic. I didn't move any furniture. The bed sizes are different. The styling's different. So we moved with just 50 boxes, and the kids were really disappointed that their toys hadn't arrived. And I'm not a proponent of lying to my kids. Please do not misunderstand me. But in this particular occasion, I'm like, oh, they didn't make it on the shipping container. Oh, what a shame. Let's just go and buy some new ones. And that's what we did. And it took them about 5 years to realize that I had never packed their stuff.
Oh no!
Packed it, right?
Oh no!
But so yes, I did declutter to start to start new, because I knew that the stuff that I had in England wasn't going to suit this new house. You know, there's different styles everywhere. If we moved to New York, it would have been different than moving to SoCal. There's different styles, and yes, I bring my own tastes, but you know, I just knew that there's no point bringing my stuff. And plus, we'd been married just over 10 years at that point, and everything was up for renewal anyway. Like, why am I going to ship threadborne towels? I'll just buy new when I get to America. So that's what we
That's
did.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so it sounds like, but it does sound like you have experience just moving and understanding what it means to move, um, you know, internationally. And I know, I mean, I also have experience moving because I've moved from like one coast to the other coast several times for school. And that tip about labeling your boxes, that is gold and that is priceless. And I just know that people I forget to label a box. I'm just like, oh, I'll just put all this stuff here. I won't need it. It's from this room. It'll be in this room. I'm not gonna forget. Bring it to the new place. I need my whatever thing that's like absolutely critical. Like I need an extension cord. Where is the extension cord? So like label your boxes. That's really great help.
Thank you. Well, another thing how we pack when we go into clients is, let's say we're in the kitchen and you've got the first cupboard on the left. So we put everything from the first cupboard in the left in the first box, close that box. Second box is everything from the second cupboard from the left goes in the second box. Everything from the third cupboard goes in the third box. So we try and keep like with like as much as possible, because when you open the box, you're like, oh yes, that lived with that. It might get rearranged in the new house, but you know, if that lived with that in that box and that lived with that in that box, the whatever thing it is that you're looking for is going to more than likely be in the box once you've located it. So we do a very methodical pack as well, because it's part of the packing strategy, because then you can find your things as you're unpacking. So it's packing like with like. Obviously, we don't want to leave empty spaces in the box, and sometimes a couple of things get put in to fill that space. But in general, once you've located the box of electrics, in your case, you know that the extension cord's going to be in there.
And that's so helpful. And you know, the other thing that I want to point out is you kind of allude to a packing service, but is that something that you actually offer? Like, if somebody's like, you know, I don't really want to pack all my stuff, can you just make this a move that's effortless for people?
Yeah, we can do that. We offer packing services. There's a couple of services that we've introduced. So one is, if you're moving within San Diego, we pack you up in our green boxes. You move, we can unpack you as well, should you wish. So you can take either part of the service, the packing or the unpacking. And that's service number one. Service number two, we have found during COVID that there have been senior parents who have either unfortunately deceased or have gone into homes, and their adult children don't live in San Diego, but they need somebody to come in and clear the house, somebody that they can trust, so the house can go on to the market. So we go in first. We go through every purse, bag, jacket pocket, drawer, envelope, everything, and we take out what we feel that the adult children would like to keep. So the photographs, the jewelry, the money, all their possessions. And we send those items off to the adult children. And we work with the adult children with like photographing and videoing and FaceTiming as we're going along and seeing, you know, what we're doing. It's not completely arbitrary. And then depending on the position of the senior parent, we will get the items removed from the house. What's left will get removed from the house, either through donation, through estate sale, or through junk removal. And then, should the client want it, we bring in a cleaning team, carpet, windows, house. We'll make recommendations, or we'll stage the house. We're not stagers, but we'll stage it in work with the realtors to get the house ready for sale. And we've done a number of these jobs now, and the response has been that the client has managed to make, due to our efforts, the client has been able to increase the value of the house, and therefore that increase has paid for our services, right? So the client ends up getting the money back, if not a bit more, due to the work that we have done. And
That's excellent.
and that's been really a really good service that we're pleased that we've been able to offer our clients. And basically one call and I get the whole thing all sorted for the client. And
Absolutely.
yeah.
And I first of all, I was aware that you had all of these different services, and I've worked with you before, and we've talked,
Yes.
and the thing that I really appreciate about you is we're very similar in slightly different industries, but we're very similar in just like the importance of planning and thinking about it and being strategic about what you're doing.
Yes.
And that is so incredibly important in anything real estate related, because I have so many clients who come to me and they have no plan, no idea what they're doing, and no strategy. And then when they don't have that, then things go wrong.
Yes.
At least when there's a plan and a strategy and an idea of what you're supposed to do, will things go wrong in a move? Yes, because it's moving. Nothing ever goes perfectly when you move.
Yes.
But at least when you have a plan, you're like, I get that this is what this should look like.
Yes.
I have a strategy. I get that this is what this should probably be. So then when something goes wrong, it takes less time to fix it.
Exactly.
And yeah, so that's really awesome. I really appreciate your being here. And if anybody wants to get a hold of you or, talk to you about moving tips or engage your services, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, they can simply give us a call on 858-790-8394. Check out our website at www.a-smart-move.com, or just shoot us an email at info@a-smart-move.com. We're over all social media platforms. We're on YouTube. We're on obviously Google. So you can't help but find us at A Smart Move.
Yes.
We're everywhere.
Awesome. And also, I just want to, because I think you're awesome and I think you're really great, I want to ask you this question, if you're open to answering it. How did you end up buying and getting a hold of this company? Because I think it's just such a great story.
So, we had to move really quickly. And I went out and I spent about $200 on boxes. And I phoned up a friend. And I'm like, oh my God, I just spent $200 on boxes and I've got like nothing. She's like, Lindsay, don't be so silly. Phone up the guy that rents moving boxes. Like, what are you talking about? Whoever rents moving boxes, who's heard of that? Anyway, I phoned him up and I'm like, hey, can I have some boxes? He says to me, no. He says, I'm selling the company. I'm not servicing San Diego. I said, bring me your boxes and bring me your business plan. So he came with the boxes. I said, where's your business plan? And he says, I thought you were just some crazy woman on the phone. I said, I am some crazy woman, but I'm the crazy woman that's going to buy your business. And as they say, the rest is history. That was eight years ago. In fact, April 8 years ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. And I think what this story really shows is that you're decisive, you know what you're doing, and you're also really, you can make a plan, stick to it, and have and get success out of it. And you've had a successful company. And so I really want to highlight that story because it is the best way of showing off how awesome Lindsay Curtis is as a person, a businesswoman, and a mover. So thank you so much for being with us. And next week, we will have another really awesome, helpful person to give you some tips on real estate. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for having us.
Bye.
Bye.